What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are going over what I think are some of the best activities to get those high stat armor rolls. A couple of my last videos have been about high stat armor rolls, how to get combos using a certain website, which I will put in the description below, as well as using your armor mods on your ghost to manipulate which stat is getting that high distribution. Definitely suggest using those armorer mods for this process. Now let's go over what activities actually drop these high stat armors. First off, right here we have the Prophecy Dungeon Kell of Echoes boss. If you can get that boss checkpoint, it has unlimited drops at the end, so it's not limited to once per characters like some of our other ones. Your first drop will for sure have that high stat distribution, and then after that the subsequent ones have a chance of being high stat, so they're not always going to be, but most of them will. And like I said, it's unlimited, so you can do this 100 times per week if you keep that checkpoint. Definitely one of the best for getting those high armor roll drops. Next, right here we have our Empire hunts on Europa. Now these you have to complete on heroic difficulty or higher, and the higher you do these on, so if you do a master, it has a higher chance of dropping that armor piece at high stats. So it has unlimited, just like the Prophecy boss, so you can do this 100 times in a week, and your drops on heroic or higher should have some crazy distribution on their armor stats, and if you do them on the higher, the better. Third, we have our raids. Now, I know that this is probably one of the best because each encounter gives you a pinnacle gear at some crazy high armor stats if you get armor, but then again, there is chances for guns, and you can only do it once per week per character, so it kind of limits your farming aspects. But once you get that armor drop, it's going to be a crazy armor distribution stat, so definitely go through these if you can. LFGs are perfect for this. Vault of Glass is a super easy raid to go through right now, so if you can go through your raids, definitely help with the high armor stats. So number 4, we have our Trials Engrams right here. With the changes that they made to Trials, being able to solo queue, and then also introducing the Flawless Pool on Sunday mornings, this gives people a chance to get these Trials Engrams by ranking up. You don't have to win 3, 5, 7 rounds anymore. It just counts as individual, like rounds won, not actual games. So you can go through and get wiped 5-2 4 games in a row, but that's technically still 8 rounds won, and you will be leveling up no matter what. So technically these are unlimited, but once you get to the higher ranks, like right here, it takes a little bit longer. But once you grab your engrams, you can actually focus them at Saint 14 right here into armor pieces, and this is the way that high stat armor is going to drop. Just grabbed 3 helmets from them, and as you can see, we got 66, 65, and 60 so this is the lowest, but right there you get 2 crazy armor distributions, as you can see right here. Definitely a super viable way to farm some high stat armor. Alright, so next we have our weekly milestones for each character. So your 8 bounties at each of the vendors, your 3 strikes, 3 gambit matches, stuff like that, your exo challenge, all of those, your weekly pinnacles and powerfuls. When they drop armor, they will have high stat distributions, so this is also a super viable way to get them, but it is only once per week per character. But there are a plethora of different options for these weekly milestones. Definitely suggest doing them on at least one character. Get some high stat armor rolls for that certain character that you main. These two kind of tie together because we got our Umbral Engrams that we can use our tier 3 focusing on, but you can only do that 3 times per week, so it's not really a super viable farm. But when you do focus them in a certain recovery, intellect, whatever you use your tier 3 focusing on, it will drop at some pretty great armor distributions. So definitely suggest going and doing at least your 3 per week because it is super great. And then also we got our Prime Engrams. Whenever you decode one of these, it will drop at a high armor distribution, but they're just random and sometimes not very common, so not a viable farm. But definitely when you get them, when it drops armor, they will be high stat distributions for sure. Last but not least, we have our Pitta heresy boss right here, Zulamak. Once you kill him, it will drop a high armor distribution piece, at least 16 or more in 2 categories. So this one is super great for getting that one piece, but it is limited to only once per week. So it's not a super great farm, but again, when you do defeat him, it is great drops. Like I said, plus 16, so 16 or more in 2 categories. Definitely a viable option, but once again, not farmable. So that's it for these activities that I think are the best. You got your Prophecy boss, your Empire hunts on heroic difficulty or higher, then you got your raids, then we got our Trials Engrams, followed by our weekly milestones for each characters, then we got our Umbrals and our Primes, Umbral's tier 3 focusing, and then finally we got our Pitta heresy boss, which gives that crazy 16 in 2 categories. So that's what I think you should be doing to get your high armor rolls, and once again, be using these armorer mods right here. They definitely help with getting a certain spiky distribution in the category that you want. So that's it for me. Hopefully this helped you guys get some high stat distributions and farm that crazy armor so you can get some crazy builds going on. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.